Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Chandrea, and today I'm doing some reaction to something that's been all over these internet streets. We're talking about the tariffs, the China situation, and you know what? I've been keeping track of it because it's like every time they go back and forth between the US and China, it's like the tariffs will go up a little bit more, and a little bit more. And at last check, okay, we are at 145% the US tariffs against China. And China said, okay, I'm gonna spot you on that. I'm gonna hit you with that 125. Now, for me, actually, luckily, I placed an order for something maybe 2 weeks ago. So I was able to get it in and get it shipped before the tariffs kicked in. So I'm very happy about that. Very lucky. But, moving forward, there's a lot of people that, might have to pay that extra price. But you know what? According to these internet streets now, there is a cheaper way to get things. Okay. They are spreading the tea, spilling the tea about where these so-called designer brands are coming from. So let's just see what people are talking about. Let's go.
Which Chinese factory supplier for Louis Vuitton? Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton has many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it. 50% of Louis Vuitton bags are from these two places. Number 1, Guangzhou City. Number 2, Dongguan City. 90% of Louis Vuitton silk is from Guangzhou in Hangzhou City. I have a friend who is a manager in the factories of the Louis Vuitton, and he told me the similar quality only needs $50. That's crazy, right? Follow Daniel, help you find the best suppliers.
Wow. So think about that too. Like I've never been personally been a person who's like into brands. I mean, I like to have like nice things, but it's kind of like if it's nice, it's nice. And the brand is like, I mean, some people are just more into brands than I am, clearly, but for those who have spent tens of thousands of dollars on bags, if this is all true, and people are saying this stuff is true, then I'd be very upset looking at my closet of designer things. Okay, let's see what's next.
Seen what's going on with Chinese manufacturers on TikTok, you have to look this up. Like I'm sure many of you have, I ended up on Chinese warehouse TikTok, and they're leaking all the secrets about how our stuff is made. For example, Birkin bags that are like $38,000, they show how they're made, and honestly, the quality was really good. But altogether, those Birkin bags that are $38,000 came out to about $1,600. Laundry pods were 20 for $1. And in America, that would have been like, what, $13? And the craziest part is they're showing people how to order directly from the manufacturer in China to where you can avoid the tariffs and not pay American prices for any of those products. And we're talking every shoe brand you've ever worn, every clothing brand you've ever worn, anything that you buy, they have shown us how to order it for a fraction of the price. It is such an epic level of petty, and I love it so much. And the thing is, what do American companies think we're gonna do? We're gonna pay their prices rather than Chinese prices when I can get 1,000 times more product for the same price as we get here. We're not going to do that. These Chinese companies called our bluff. They were like, oh, you want to put a tariff on us? Okay, here's every product you buy in America at an inflated price for a fraction of the cost. This is the craziest Uno reverse card I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, have fun going down that rabbit hole and tell me the things that you found are cheaper in the comments. I appreciate your faces.
Well, I will say this. So there are like a ton of videos out there. So, I mean, I guess you could just jump down that rabbit hole and see whatever it is you want to see. But that's the thing also, like they're telling you how to order this stuff directly from them. Like people are putting out names and like stuff like that. From what I can tell, I've seen like, the front stills of some of the pictures or some of the videos. It's like names and like websites and all that kind of stuff. So this is getting wild, man. And I mean, at the end of the day, people are worried about their money and everything. So it's like, where are you going to try to get things cheaper? If it's proven to be good and pretty good quality or or whatever, then, go there. So let's see what we got next. Okay, here we go.
Say, as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France.
So is that the trick? Is that the game? Is it the game?
those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have Hermes bag and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from our factory in China, see the real world for yourself.
Woo! That's petty. They are not playing, y'all. There's the tea is the piping hot tea is out here. He's saying, come get it. Don't pay all that money. Just come over here. It's all the same. The sad part is like the thought about how people see like countries and branding and labels and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, like, I've always known that a lot of the stuff comes from China. Like, I've always felt that anyway. But like, to have it shown in your face. And then the other part of it, though, that is really complicated and messed up too, though, is when you look at it from like the U.S. side of it, the people making money, but at the same time, it's like they're getting the labor cheaper. It's okay. Let me go to this next video.
Y'all know I'm all about community, so I'm about to give y'all the 3 people who are giving you all the tea on the Chinese manufacturers. And I'm also going to tag their profiles in the caption and the comments. So the first one is Luna. Luna gives you all the tea on the suppliers for Sephora, Zara, where to buy your luxury accessories, and the best website to source the products from China. Number 2, we got the homie Sen Bags, and he pretty much gave up all the tea on how it is that Birkins are manufactured. And he said, oh, y'all thought Hermes had quality? Watch this. Then we got Lily. Not only does Lily give you the tea on how it is that you can ship the products to the United States, but she also gives you the easiest way to get your products to the US and step by step for those of you who are afraid of the language barrier on how to buy the goods from China. And then last but not least, if you look inside the label of your favorite sneaker, I promise you it was made in Asia. So you probably want to go straight to the source, and I'm going to recommend my guy, Remy Sneakers. And as you can see below, they show you the quality of the shoes. While a lot of folks scream knockoff, these are the exact same manufacturers that manufactures the shoes, the luxury goods, the bags, the clothing that you buy from the stores. You're welcome.
Ooh.
Out China's biggest luxury wholesaler. Thanks to President Trump's recent tariffs, Chinese manufacturers for luxury brands like Hermes, Chanel, LV, etc. are coming out of the woods and offering direct sale to us peasants and the US at a pinch of the price. When you walk in, they hand you gloves because the goods you're about to handle are still the same top quality. I've never seen so many Hermes bags lined up in front of me, let alone try every size and color on like I'm in Walmart. Best part is there's no sales assistant stalking you, no upsells, and you're only paying 20% of the price. These only range from $250 to $500. That's a steal. Manufacturers are exposing luxury brands for what the bags actually cost. Now that Donnie's pissed off the peasants, all hell's broken loose.
I mean, listen. Let's go to the next video. These are really fascinating to look at.
Behind every luxury label is a story. But this time, it's not coming from Paris or Milan, it's coming from the factory floor in China, and it changes everything. For decades, luxury fashion sold us a dream. Italian leather, Parisian runways, and made in France labels. But behind the scenes, much of it was made in China, and now the people behind the curtain are pulling it back. Recently, Chinese manufacturers have begun identifying themselves as the real creators of luxury goods. In viral videos on social media, factory owners reveal the truth. They've been making bags, shoes, and clothes for the world's biggest brands for years.
Putting it out.
But here's the twist. Many of these products are made in China, then quietly shipped to Italy, France, or Spain for one final step. either attaching a logo, adding a label, or boxing the item. That simple detour legally earns them a Made in Italy tag and justifies a markup of thousands of dollars. And now that the veil is lifting, these same factories are asking a provocative question. Why not just buy it from us directly? Manufacturers are now wanting to completely cut out the middlemen. With the rise of live stream shopping, e-commerce platforms like Alibaba and TikTok Shop, they're speaking directly to you, the consumer, and their offer the same quality for a fraction of the price.
Wow. And you know the kicker on that though too, when you think about it, like the quality is looking pretty good in these videos, y'all. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. Wow. Okay. She's just like, this is what it is. Okay. All right. Okay.
And is revealing that 80% of anything you buy that's Gucci is made in China, that over 60% of anything that you buy from Prada is made in China, that the only difference is that they send it over to Europe and then they stitch on a made in France or made in Italy little label. It's the ultimate pulling the curtain on the wizard in the Wizard of Oz and showing that there actually is no real magic and power in the person who's controlling Oz. I think it's going to be really interesting because there is such a stigma of something that's made in China. There's this perception of lesser quality in the West, but when you reverse that paradigm, when you show that all these goods that you thought were better because they came from Italy or France or wherever, when actually, in actuality, it comes from China, you're forcing consumers to reckon with why they make choices.
Wow. I mean, that tells you that is a very interesting point. A very interesting point. Like I've never felt that way about things, but you know, that's just, it's an interesting observation and a self-check, some self-awareness for people who may think that way. So at the end of the day, my question to you is this: would you buy directly from the manufacturer? How do you feel about that? And then if all this is true, you know, this is what people are saying or whatever, about the stuff being manufactured in China and then shipped over to the other, you know, like the Italies and things like that, with one last little thing put on top of there, making it, you know, officially made in Italy or whatever country. How do you feel about that? What if this is all 100% true? I'm like, listen. And then they're giving you instructions on how to buy it directly from them at the different price, at the dramatically reduced pricing. Would you order things that way? Think about that. Let me know in the comments. This is a very interesting topic, and I'm very intrigued to see how far this goes, and more importantly, how this ends and what the ultimate impact is going to be, not only on our country, their country, but also just overall with businesses and how consumers do buy things in the future. Will it solely be like online with the TikToks of the world and things like that? And then on top of that, speaking of TikTok, what's going to happen with that? Think about it. I mean, will it get pushed a little bit? You know, will we get more days of TikTok, or will TikTok go away? I mean, it would not be wise for TikTok to go away because there's too much money to be made there here in the United States. People have their livelihoods based on TikTok. So let's just, my eyes are open. My eyes are open. My ears are open. I'm open-minded to this whole situation. And I think all of this is very illuminating. Just like they were saying, pulling back the curtain, like on the Wizard of Oz. What happens with that? What do you think? Would you buy this way? How do you feel if you're a person who's been spending thousands of dollars over the years for name brands coming from a place that you thought it was coming from originally, but it didn't? What do you think about that? Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, later.